Welcome to Lofty Pursuits and Public Displays of Confection in Tallahassee, Florida. I'm Greg, and today Jake and I are going to make some violet candies. They're going to be crystal violets, which is part of our crystal flower series. So they're going to have a clear background, which is a technique I learned by studying Japanese candy making techniques. Not only is the image inspired by candies from other countries, so is the flavor. The sugar that's poured on the table is 310 degrees and it's already flavored with the violet oil. Then we add the violet-colored food coloring. We blend several colors to get the shade we want. And we let the water boil out. We stir it with our little wooden spoons and the water boils out. And it keeps the candy dry. We're trying to minimize the amount of water in the candy. And the heat of the candy helps us do this by driving the water out in the form of steam. This may still be a liquid, but it's a dry liquid with no water in it. Just hot sugar and a little flavoring. This flavor caused a lot of trouble in its development. You see, I knew I could make the artwork, and that wasn't the problem. The problem was, I didn't know how to make a violet taste like a violet. And for that I had to travel, and I went to France. This past November I was over there, and one of the things I wanted to do was try candied violets. I mean, there's an American company that makes violet candy, but I didn't know if that actually tasted right because I had nothing to compare it to. And while I liked it, I knew it was made starting in the 1930s in New York City. This was in the primitive days of artificial flavoring, and things kinda didn't taste exactly like the original flavor. They more gave the idea of the original flavor, and I wanted a true violet flavor. And there were two centers of violet flavors, Toulouse in France and Barcelona in Spain. And I wasn't going to Spain. Jake and I are separating out the colors, cutting off the clear background first, and then separating out the violet, which will be used to, well, color the violets. The dripping of the candy gets the hot candy down to the cool candy cooling table, and then the cold bits go on top. Our goal here is to average the temperature of the sugar. If you'd like to try these candies for yourself, just go over to www.pd.net. You can order them there, or you can visit us in person in Tallahassee if you're ever driving by. This is a limited edition candy. We want to get some feedback, and if you like it, we'll make some more in the future. But for now, the batch you see us making is what you're going to get. I wasn't planning on making this candy right now, but when we sold out of our Conversation Heart Valentine's Day candy, I went, well, I should have something to replace it in the lineup, even at the last minute like this. And we thought it was time to share it with the rest of the world and see what they thought. So you can try this along with our other Valentine's Day candies. We're only out of one design so far, but the rest will go in the next couple of days. We need a tiny bit of the pulled violet candy, and Jake is doing that just by hand. It's too small to go on the hook. The hook is such a massive heat sink, it would cool down this candy so much it wouldn't be workable anymore. Violets have 5 petals, but the center one's a little different and has slightly different coloring, and that's what this pulled candy is for. We're going to be doing the center one first, and then we're going to do the other 4 afterwards with a little odd spacing to match the original flower. We're not doing an African violet, we're doing a European style violet because that's what they use in France. In France, they make crystallized violets. In other words, they prepare actual violet petals with sugar, and the petals themselves become the candy. This is fascinating and provides a wonderful flavor. There seems to be only one firm left in France that makes it. This is in the suburbs of Toulouse in a town called Bonnefoy. The company is appropriately named De Dieu Candy Fleur, or candy flowers, and they're known for their crystallized violets. And I was able to find some in a high-end candy store in Paris. And when I tried them, I discovered the floral flavor, which is on the same line as rose, but with a different, I don't know how to describe it, a different taste. and it's a taste that is unique to this, and it's different than the American violet candies. It would be hubris for me to say that I got the same flavor as eating an actual violet in my candy, but I think I got pretty close, and I think the dreams of the violets can be tasted in the candy that we make. Someday I'm going to have to make it to Barcelona, because they do it as hard candy there. Their candy is made in the form of drops, and I can only assume that some of their flavors are similar to ours. But I haven't tried it yet. Someday, I hope, because there's always more to learn. We've now built 3 petals on the bottom half and 2 petals on the top half, and it's time to put them together, and then roll them out and make them nice and even. The petals are going to distort a little bit when I do this, but that's okay because flower petals are never consistent anyway, and making it a little asymmetrical will make it just like a flower. Now that we've made one giant log with an image through it, we can't eat just that. I guess we could, but it wouldn't be fair. We like to share, so we're going to taper this down by pinching off one end, and that taper is going to allow us eventually to make lots of rods out of this log that we can cut into bite-sized pieces. The end we cut off we call a unicorn dropping, and we sell it in our store. We do not sell it online, but if you ever come by, it's just another unique thing that you can only get in person at Lofty Pursuits. If you want to keep up with what we're doing here at Lofty Pursuits, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We have 2 Facebook pages. The Lofty Pursuits page is about the store, and the Public Displays a Confection page is about the candy. You might want to follow them both. They both amuse me in different ways at times. And if you want even more, you can follow the Lofty Pursuits podcast. You can download it wherever podcasts are found, and it's more about the behind-the-scenes life of Greg in the store. If you'd like to hear me ramble more than I even do here, that's a perfect place for it. If you want to get it 4 weeks early, you can become a Patreon subscriber, and we always love the support that the Patreon subscribers do. They let us do these side projects like the podcast, and we'd like to thank our Patreon subscribers for their consistent support.
Give me your heart for just a moment, and my imagination will make that moment live.
All that's left is for us to cut them into bite-sized pieces, and for that we pull out our canvil and we cut them impatiently. Is it appropriate to be impatient when you're cutting violet candy? And there is our violet candy. If you'd like to get some for yourself, please go to our website, www.pd.net, or come into our store, Lofty Pursuits. We're open 7 days a week. We serve brunch from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. and ice cream from noon till 10 p.m. We make candy right in the front of the store. We don't make it every day and we don't make it all the time, but if you're lucky, you'll get to see us make candy in person. Thank you again for watching. I just realized in all the other crystal candy videos, I read a poem about the flower. Violets, I hold you, sweet within my hand. Whisper what he told you in the sunset land. Violets, my spirit feels what you intend. In my soul I hear it. Think upon thy friend. Violets by Ruby Archer.